Okay, so NXT Wargames. This is the last big event for Peacock. If you are in the States, WWE Network, if you're place else. This also doesn't make time to talk about NXT 2.0 just in general. It's a brighter show, more colors to it, which I guess is supposed to bring in the younger audience. I read somewhere I think that the average age of people watching NXT is like in their 60s. So we'll go with the first women's match. I like how this was a tale of really two women getting to look like absolute superstars. Gigi Dolan, who there's something about the way she in the ring. There's like an animalistic quality. You can tell she's been in a fight. There's just so much raw emotion and passion, and she's very solid in the ring. She looks like $1,000,000 in this. I mean, they did a great job, really, really showcasing her and making her look fantastic. I almost think that she's the reason why you have Toxic Attraction. I think that they're it's a good way to rehab Mandy Rose, who fantastic look, solid in the ring, decent promos, just needed something beyond being, hey, look at me, I'm an attractive, fit blonde, like the other 3 or 4 that are on the shows. And another person looked really good, and this was Akara Jade. I thought that it was really smart having her be, one of the earlier ones in the match. That top of the cage spot, if that was meant to do like a fake injury bit, they played that up well. They played that up like it was a pseudo legit, even, doing stuff in the corner. You can tell that Kaylee Ray was talking with Dakota Kai, like, just be here for a minute so the camera's on us. Io Shirai being like, no, we've got it, and doing, Dr. Shirai, popping her shoulder back in and having her be the one to get the victory. Good. The crowd went from chanting "you can't skate" to actually, being excited that she won the match. Good. War Games works when you can get 2 people over. Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly. Von Wagner, he's one of the Beverly Brothers kids. When you say he's a Bloom, people go, oh, Matt Bloom. No, not Albert. He's got some size, but there are lots of times in the match where you can tell he just seems lost. And that just means he just needs reps. He just needs time. I think that they put him in the deep end to see how well he could do. I think seeing him and Kyle O'Reilly in a cage match, Kyle's going to get a good match out of him. This has been a tumultuous year for Kyle O'Reilly. He went from being the guy who had these just killer matches, and he's fantastic in the ring, to then trying to be like cool Kyle, and it just didn't quite work. I loved his promo when he talked about, it's the first time I haven't been in War Games, which also means it'll be hard to do War Games retrospectives because it'll be like, here's all the teams that have been in War Games. The Undisputed Era versus the Undisputed Era versus the Undisputed Era versus... Man, they were all over these events. What happened to 2 of them? If not 3. I just... Not digging enough. He goes back to being the focused, like, I'm going to kill you, Kyle O'Reilly. Yes, please. For Imperium. Man, Eichner was in great shape, as was Bartel, but they have gotten seriously just vasculated recently. I mean, they are so vascular. It is sick. I mean, I don't know what it is that they're doing, what sort of additional like fitness training and nutrition they're working with, but they look sick. And watching Eichner made me go, I wouldn't mind if Imperium went to the main roster and Cesaro joined them. I think Eichner and Cesaro, either on the same side against each other, would be a fantastic match. Eichner's just ridiculously amazing in the ring. Just what he can do, catching Von Wagner and doing like the squat and then like a Spicoli roll, like the rebounding, like moonsaults and stuff. I'm like, that's... Oh. We talk about, like Ricochet being amazing. Then you see a person who looks like Eichner do it, and you're like, man, find a way to start cloning some of those guys, and we will have legitimate superheroes like Spider-Man all over the place and Captain America. So that tag match, of course, you end up having, Imperium retain, and then the turn by Von Wagner. Probably the least well-built match. I mean, their tag division, they've got some great teams. I think they're just trying to figure out how to get things connected. Hair versus hair match. Another short build-up. Cameron Grimes has gone from being the guy that everyone boos because he's really fantastic, he's a great heel, to legitimately winning money in stocks, to his feud with the $1 Million Man, to that being done, to being this great baby face after all the fantastic work with LA Knight, and then going into this really short, impactful, like, blood feud. I like Duke Hudson. I think he's got a great look, good on the mic. You can tell, again, he's just someone who he's big and he's kind of awkward in the ring. But this isn't his first iteration. He's been other characters in NXT and NXT UK. But he's got a great look. And again, he's got the personality and he's got the facial emotions for him, which work really well. I like the fact that he does the poker gimmick. And he does it well. It allows him to come off as like, you know what, this is a mental game. Wrestling's a mental game. I dig that. Cameron Grimes is amazing. I have a feeling that he'll make it to the main roster and Vince will go, so you're really, really athletic? Uh-huh. Southern accent, yep. You made a ton of money? Yep, I did the Beverly Hillbilly sort of thing. I've done all these different sort of characters, and I've made every single thing work. Again, he seems like someone that you can just strap a rocket to the moon. And I dread his main roster call-up. Because he's made everything work. And I don't know how well that will work when Vince has his claws in him. But he won the match. Duke tried to get out of it. Led to that nice cave-in. Even though I think Duke did kind of hit a little bit of the chair or maybe the razors, the trimmer. He got like part of his head shaved and just him being unconscious, still asleep. That face was just fantastic. And I was like, that's why he'll do well. Good size. You can tell that he understands some aspects of the business, the psychological side, which is one of the harder parts to get. The in-ring stuff, you can learn that eventually. Okay. The Cruiserweight Championship match. Diamond Mine, I love this group. Malcolm Bivens has been with NXT for a long time, and it's like, give him something. He's a fantastic mouthpiece. And I love blended stables. I do. I think it's fantastic. Because you can do that moment where all of them have gold, and you've got a control over multiple divisions and the women's belt. And, Ivy Nile looks fantastic. I'm pretty sure carbs evaporate when she gets near just to make sure that they don't get into her system. Joe Gacy. I kind of dig the inclusive sort of gimmick thing he's got going on. Again, knowing that NXT is written by a guy, like in his 70s, that seems to cater more to people in their 60s. There's a way that he's saying the dial that has this sinister aspect to it, which I dig. There was a discussion about having him win the title, having become an all-inclusive title, and get rid of like an actual 205 weight limit. Because you watch 205 Live now, it's women's matches and everything else. It's almost like it's NXT's main event. But I dig the direction they go with Joe Casey. I like his heavy. And how he's trying to like control him and get him to figure, no, you just need to do this. I like it. I like the heat that he gets. And it's a solid character. I like it because it has that really early Bray Wyatt, like FCW NXT sort of feel to it. Or that just
where he's saying things that are true and are accurate, but there's just enough like a sinister cult aspect to it that just works really, really well. So I'm a fan of the work for that. Love Diamond Mine. Creed brothers just look like maniacs. Malcolm Moo's great mouthpiece. I really am looking forward to when we maybe see a feud with like Legato, who again, blended, stable. I had high hopes for Hit Row. I think that main roster did too, until someone went, let's cut him. We just made a big deal when they went on to SmackDown. But we call them like the like this big deal when they just cut him. All right. I think in a lot of ways, people that got let go from NXT, it was the rebrand that got them. I mean, if you couldn't look at Taya Valkyrie and go, what can we do with her? She's good in the ring? Yeah, she's really good in the ring. She's a powerhouse. We don't have anyone who looks like her and has the abilities of her. Yeah. And her husband's on the main roster. Yeah. You think we could do something with her on the main roster? And then now with Miz and Maurice coming back, it's like, man, if you were to do Morrison and Valkyrie versus Miz and Maurice, that could be interesting. But they're both, well, Taya's back in AAA again. Maurice does fantastic work. By all means, watch her AAA matches. They're very good. So now up to the main event, the War Games. Team Black and Gold versus Team 2.0. A lot of people complain about WWE because you used to, you would build to a Hell in a Cell. Not, it's a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, we need to have matches. You would build towards, you would build towards War Games. I think it was Jim Cornette who said War Games was a stipulation that was needed for the feud. Now you need to have a feud for the stipulation. I will say, Carmelo, love the bravado. He's fantastic in the ring. He just needs the right moment, and he again should be a surefire on the main roster. I think he just needs a little bit of seasonings just to work a little more where the camera is, but really smooth in the ring. Super confident, right amount of cocky arrogance and confidence, backs it up beautifully well. Braun Branker, stud. That he is the epitome of a diamond that needs just a little bit of polish. The weakest part of his game right now is his tan game, because he doesn't tan here. You can tell he does this. He's also, COVID booster. He's just super tan. Then he has this like white spot right here. And it's like, man, I can tell when you're tan and you're like this. So it's just not getting that one little spot right there. And the weakest part of your game is your tan game. And he hits, a little bit of like not really fluid moves here and there, but his raw strength makes up for it. Grayson Waller, again, not a style character that I'm really impressed with. Tony D'Angelo, it feels like he needed a few more weeks on NXT in the ring, not just doing the promo work and the vignette packages. So that team was two studs, and I can't say two duds. And on the other side, seeing Team DIY come back together again was really good. Pete Dunne, great to watch. Seeing him use the cage, be like, I bend fingers. Stick your finger in the cage and bend it around the metal. Super brutal. Taking trash cans and like sitting on a trash can on top of someone's fingers. Super brutal. Looked fantastic. Tommaso Ciampa, great work as the champ. Again, he's an undefeated champ, which I like. And LA Knight, who I know has been feud with Grayson Waller. And LA Knight he's perfect for the E. Great look, in-ring style that works. Can talk. Find a spot for him on the main roster. Probably like post-WrestleMania. And just give him the mic in a few minutes and maybe pair him with someone else who's really strong on the mic. Like LA Knight and The Miz would be some fantastic mic work. Now, the problem with 2 War Games matches is you do hit this thing that's like, oh, we're going to bring in kendos, we're going to bring in trash cans, we're going to bring in chairs and tables. And when you see a similar spot done in 2 different matches, where it's like, all right, put the guy on the table, I'm going to do top rope. Okay, from the top of the cage, put him through a table. Maybe this is just like well, here's a great spot to do it. You almost need to go, wait, they did it from that side. Yeah. Can I go from that side? What? How about I go from the other corner? Just from there. How about I go from like the middle? Just from there? No? So 2 matches, both War Games, both have a similar, top of cage through table spot. I will say the finish worked perfectly. I loved the fact, I'm like, if anyone's going to do a pin, like I can see, D'Angelo taking a pin, I could see Grayson Waller taking a pin, I can see LA Knight taking the pin. It's like, or I can see Braun Branker getting the pin on Tommaso Ciampa to lead to their feud continuing. That having been said, the way they finished that, going for fairy tale ending, nope, Braun Branker just trashes Tommaso through a table, hits his, big gorilla press power slam, gets the pinfall. Especially after he took, the DIY finisher. And I will say, I liked that Carmelo Hayes actually like pulled the referee's leg to stop the count and then she's doing low blows. I was like, okay, that's good. I can dig that. So we're the bad guys in this match. I'm fine with that. Having Johnny Gargano come down to Rebel Heart with his gear being a composite of all his previous TakeOver gear, that was brilliant. Like, he gets it. And then Grayson Waller heel kicked him and like blew up his nose on his face. And I was like, well, if anyone's going to be able to keep this match going with a busted nose, it'll be Gargano. Made a lot of sense starting us off with, Gargano and Hayes. They've got great chemistry. They work well together. And they're cardio machines. All in all, this was done very well. I love the fact that NXT, when they do an event, is they're like, all right, here's our matches. We'll do a few segments in between. I have the ad version of Peacock, so I might not see the GYV promo. Instead, they get a commercial for Coles. But they do just enough to make everything go, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna build to a couple of matches. The matches are gonna make sense. They're gonna be good, and they're gonna allow us to further storylines. Overall, NXT 2.0, it's doing okay. I like the fact that they're taking established talent and newer talent and trying to do things to go, hey, let's take the stars and use them to help get over newer guys. It's this crazy idea that they should try doing more on the main roster. They got rid of a lot of the older guys. They're trying to use NXT as more of a developmental. NXT for a long time, it was both a third brand and developmental. The problem with that is you can't be a slave to 2 masters. If you're a third brand, you don't develop guys well enough. If you're just developmental, you're not a third brand. So I'm excited to see where NXT goes from here. I think that they've got once I set upon a good direction, be like, okay, we're going to build up some of the next crop of stars. And it makes sense that NXT now is look at the guys who are in the ring and the guys you have in the queue and go, do I picture that person being a heavyweight champion? Do I picture that guy being a main event player? Instead, do I picture that guy being a utility player? Do I picture that guy being, a tag champ? Do I picture that guy being a mid-card champ? I was like, no. Do I picture that guy being someone you can put on the Today Show, on ESPN, on, an ABC, NBC, CBS morning show? Is that someone you can put on a red carpet at a big event like the ESPYs? Is that someone you can put out in front and you go, okay, this guy or girl is going to look the part and is going to be able to make it work and be presentable? If that's the direction they want to go, it makes it a lot easier to go, sorry, I don't see you working out. we'll use you to get you some exposure, get your dollar amount increased. Sure, you go from there.